Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a 30-year-old NBA veteran sitting at home with no team to call. This isn't just any player, this is someone who was drafted 14th overall, helped a team reach the NBA Finals, and just finished a solid season with the New York Knicks. Yet Cameron Payne remains unsigned, and his story reveals everything wrong with how the NBA treats its journeymen. What you're about to discover will change how you see professional basketball forever. The name Cameron Payne should be whispered in NBA circles with reverence, not ignored like yesterday's news. This is a player who has experienced the highest highs and lowest lows that professional basketball can offer. From lottery pick expectations to playing in China's second-tier league, from finals heroics to sitting unemployed during free agency, his journey exposes the brutal reality that talent alone isn't enough in today's NBA. The system that claims to reward hard work and dedication has repeatedly failed one of its most resilient competitors. What makes this story even more infuriating is the timing. As franchises across the league search desperately for reliable bench players who can contribute in pressure situations, a proven commodity remains available. Teams are throwing money at unproven rookies and aging veterans who haven't sniffed the playoffs in years, while a finals hero waits by his phone. The basketball world has lost its mind, and Cameron Payne's situation proves it. Cameron Payne entered the NBA in 2015 with massive expectations that seemed entirely justified. The Oklahoma City Thunder saw something special in the Murray State product, selecting him 14th overall in a draft that included future stars like Devin Booker and Miles Turner. General manager Sam Presti, known for his keen eye for talent, believed Payne possessed the athleticism and basketball IQ to eventually replace Russell Westbrook. The organization invested heavily in his development, pairing him with elite veterans and giving him significant playing time alongside Kevin Durant and Westbrook. During his rookie season, flashes of brilliance emerged. Payne showed explosive speed, creative passing ability, and a developing three-point shot that had coaches excited about his potential. His energy was infectious, and teammates embraced his enthusiasm. The Thunder's development staff worked tirelessly with him, focusing on decision-making and defensive positioning. Everything pointed toward a bright future in Oklahoma City, where he could learn from one of the league's most dynamic backcourts. But the basketball gods had different plans, and they were cruel ones. During the 2016 season, Payne suffered a devastating foot injury that would haunt him for years to come. The injury wasn't just physical missile, it was psychological warfare. When he returned to the court, the explosive athleticism that made him a lottery pick had vanished like smoke. His first step was slower, his jumping ability diminished, and most importantly, his confidence was shattered into a million pieces. The Thunder organization, initially patient with his recovery, began showing signs of frustration. Payne's shot selection became erratic as he tried to overcompensate for his lost athleticism. His turnovers increased, his defense suffered, and veteran teammates started questioning whether he belonged on an NBA roster. The whispers in the locker room grew louder, and media outlets began speculating about his future. The pressure was suffocating. Kevin Durant's departure to Golden State changed everything for Oklahoma City. The Thunder, desperate to win now with a shortened championship window, had no patience for a struggling young guard who needed time to rediscover his game. They traded him to Chicago in 2017, essentially admitting their lottery pick experiment had failed miserably. The trade felt like a public execution of his Thunder dreams, and Payne knew his reputation was damaged goods. The Chicago Bulls' stint was even worse than anyone could have imagined. Payne found himself buried on the bench, watching as the organization prioritized other guards who hadn't accomplished half of what he had in college. His playing time dwindled to almost nothing, and when he did get opportunities, the pressure to perform perfectly was overwhelming. Every missed shot felt like a nail in his coffin, every turnover like evidence that the critics were right about his declining abilities. The Bulls' coaching staff seemed to have no faith in his potential, often bypassing him entirely in crucial moments. His agent was fielding calls from teams expressing mild interest, but nothing concrete materialized. The writing was on the wall. Another organization was preparing to give up on him. When Chicago finally waived him in 2018, it felt like the end of the world. A former lottery pick, just 23 years old, was completely unwanted in the NBA. But the real rock bottom was still coming, and it would test every fiber of his being. After brief 10-day contracts with Cleveland that led nowhere, Payne made a decision that would define his character for the rest of his career. He packed his bags and flew to China, signing with the Shanxi Lungs of the Chinese Basketball Association. Picture this: A player who once shared the court with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook was now playing in front of crowds who barely knew his name in a country where basketball was still growing. The culture shock was immediate and brutal. Everything from the food to the language to the style of play was completely foreign. Payne found himself in dingy hotels, eating unfamiliar meals and wondering if he had made the biggest mistake of his life. The basketball was physical and unforgiving, with referees who seemed to have different interpretations of basic rules. His teammates spoke limited English, making communication nearly impossible during crucial moments. The China experience lasted only 2 games before he was released, but those 2 games changed everything. Watching his dreams crumble in a foreign country, surrounded by people who couldn't understand his frustration, lit a fire that would burn for years. Most players would have given up, accepting that their NBA dreams were finished. But Payne used this humiliation as fuel, refusing to let his story end in failure. The flight back to America was the longest of his life. Payne stared out the window, processing the reality that he had hit rock bottom. But instead of wallowing in self-pity, he began planning his comeback. He would return to the G League, the NBA's developmental system typically reserved for undrafted rookies and aging veterans trying to catch lightning in a bottle. It was another humbling experience, but he was determined to prove that his talent hadn't disappeared. The G League grind was brutal but necessary. Payne dominated against inferior competition, averaging impressive numbers and catching the attention of scouts who had written him off. He worked on his shooting mechanics, improved his defensive positioning, and most importantly, rebuilt his confidence 1 game at a time. The facilities were subpar, the travel was exhausting, and the pay was minimal, but he approached every practice like it was the NBA Finals. NBA scouts began taking notice of his improved play, and whispers started circulating about a potential comeback. The Phoenix Suns, desperate for backcourt depth and intrigued by his renewed focus, took a chance on him in 2020. It was a minimum contract with no guarantees, but it represented hope. Payne knew this was likely his last opportunity to prove he belonged in the world's best basketball league. What happened next defied all logic and expectations. Payne didn't just survive with Phoenix pissed. He thrived in ways that shocked everyone, including himself. His three-point shooting improved dramatically. His court vision returned to lottery pick levels, and most importantly, his confidence was restored. The Suns discovered they had found a gem hiding in basketball's wasteland, a player who had been forged by adversity into something stronger than before. Head coach Monty Williams deserves credit for believing in Payne's potential when others saw only damaged goods. The coaching staff worked tirelessly with him, focusing on his strengths while minimizing his weaknesses. His teammates, led by veteran Chris Paul, embraced his energy and determination. The culture in Phoenix was perfect for a player looking to rebuild his career from the ground up. During the 2021 playoffs, Payne became the story everyone was talking about. He averaged over 9 points per game in the postseason, hitting clutch shots and providing energy that proved crucial in multiple series. His performances weren't just statistically impressive, they were emotionally captivating. Here was a player who had been written off by the basketball world, now contributing to a championship run. The NBA Finals performance was the stuff of legends that Hollywood couldn't script better. In Game 2 against Milwaukee, Payne exploded for 29 points and 9 assists with 0 turnovers, a stat line that would make Hall of Famers jealous. He shot 8 of 10 from the field and 7 of 8 from three-point range, single-handedly keeping Phoenix competitive in a crucial game. Social media erupted as fans watched this journeyman point guard outplay established stars on basketball's biggest stage. Magic Johnson himself praised Payne's impact, calling him the reason for crucial victories. The kid who was playing in China just months earlier was now a finals hero, proving that redemption stories still exist in professional sports. His family watched from the stands with tears in their eyes, knowing the journey he had endured to reach this moment. The basketball world was witnessing something special, but success in professional sports is temporary, and Payne's story took another unexpected turn that would test his resilience once again. Despite his finals heroics, Phoenix eventually traded him in a salary dump move to San Antonio, who immediately waived him. The basketball world watched in confusion as a proven playoff performer was once again looking for a home. The business side of the NBA had reared its ugly head, reminding everyone that loyalty is a luxury teams can't afford. The transaction felt like a betrayal after everything he had given to the Suns organization. Payne had helped them reach the finals, provided crucial bench scoring, and embraced his role without complaint. Yet when salary cap considerations became important, he was expendable. The harsh reality of NBA business struck again, proving that even finals heroes aren't immune to the league's cold calculations. He signed with Milwaukee, then Philadelphia, then Cleveland, collecting jerseys like a basketball nomad searching for stability. Each stop brought new hope and new disappointment. The Bucks used him sparingly. The Sixers valued other players more, and Cleveland saw him as a temporary fix. Despite solid production wherever he went, Payne couldn't find a permanent home. The league's treatment of veteran role players was becoming increasingly apparent. The New York Knicks offered what seemed like the perfect landing spot. Madison Square Garden, basketball's mecca, welcomed Payne with open arms. The franchise had a history of embracing hardworking players, and their fan base appreciated grit and determination. He responded with solid production, averaging 6.9 points and 2.8 assists while shooting 36.3% from three-point range. His veteran leadership helped guide the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Knicks fans embraced Payne's energy and professionalism. He never complained about his role, always stayed ready when called upon, and provided crucial scoring off the bench during playoff runs. His chemistry with the team's core players was evident, and his experience in pressure situations proved invaluable. Everything pointed to a contract extension, a chance to finally find a basketball home in the world's most famous arena. Yet here we are in July 2025, and Cameron Payne sits unsigned while lesser players receive guaranteed contracts. Teams are apparently ignoring a 30-year-old guard who has proven himself in the playoffs, maintains solid shooting numbers, and brings championship experience. The cruel reality of NBA business is on full display. Loyalty means nothing, and even proven contributors can find themselves abandoned without warning. Payne's agent is likely fielding calls from teams offering minimum contracts, a slap in the face for someone who has given everything to this league. The disrespect is staggering when you consider his resume. Finals hero, playoff contributor, solid shooter, veteran leader, these qualities should make him valuable to any organization. Instead, he's treated like damaged goods by a league that claims to value character and work ethic. The basketball world should be outraged by this treatment, but instead, we're distracted by superstar drama and trade rumors. We celebrate stars who switch teams for maximum contracts, but ignore the journeymen who sacrifice everything for their craft. Payne's story represents thousands of players who fight daily battles just to remain in the league they love. His journey from lottery pick to China to finals hero to unemployed veteran exposes the harsh realities that exist behind the glamorous NBA marketing machine. What makes this even more frustrating is the talent that remains available while teams claim they need help. Contending teams are searching for reliable bench players who can space the floor and handle pressure situations, yet a proven commodity like Payne remains on the market. His ability to contribute in crucial moments should make him valuable to any organization with championship aspirations. The fact that he's still unsigned suggests either a failure of NBA front offices to recognize talent or a concerning trend of age discrimination against players in their 30s. Teams claim they value character and work ethic, but Payne's story proves otherwise. This is a player who humbled himself in China, clawed his way back through the G League, and delivered in the sport's most pressurized moments. His resilience should be celebrated, not ignored. Instead, organizations are likely pursuing younger players with less proven track records, gambling on potential rather than rewarding demonstrated ability. The irony is almost too much to bear. While social media debates about super team formations and max contract negotiations dominate headlines, a finals hero sits at home wondering if his phone will ring. Payne's situation highlights the NBA's broken priorities. We obsess over stars while ignoring the role players who make championship runs possible. His 29-point finals performance feels like ancient history in a league that moves at breakneck speed. Perhaps most troubling is what this says about opportunity in professional sports. Payne has proven he can contribute at the highest level, yet artificial barriers keep him from finding employment. Age, salary expectations, and roster construction politics matter more than actual basketball ability. The system rewards potential over production, leaving veterans like Payne to watch from the sidelines as less qualified players receive opportunities. The clock is ticking on Cameron Payne's career, and every day he remains unsigned represents a missed opportunity for both him and potential suitors. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the cruel nature of professional sports, where today's heroes become tomorrow's forgotten players. The NBA needs to take a hard look at how it treats its journeymen, because players like Payne are what make the league special. Cameron Payne's journey from lottery pick to finals hero to unemployed veteran is one of the most compelling stories in modern basketball. It's a tale of resilience, disappointment, triumph, and ultimately, the harsh realities of professional sports. As he waits for his phone to ring, basketball fans should remember that behind every stat sheet and highlight reel is a human being fighting to pursue their dreams. Payne's story isn't over yet, but it's a reminder that in the NBA, nothing is guaranteed, not even for those who have proven they belong.